Hi everyone, I'm Theo. Welcome to Theo and his pedals. And today, Sonic have been kind enough to send me their flagship multi-effects pedal, the Matribox II PRO. The Matribox II PRO has both guitar and bass specific effects modes and amp and cab simulations. It also has the ability to upload your own impulse responses if you want. It's got a looper, a drum machine, a tuner, an aux in and a headphone out. So it gives you a lot of options for just home practice as well as live gigging. It's also a USB interface, and I've just watched Johnny Dibble's great video on the Matribox 2 where he goes into the computer software, which is not something I've done with my one. But yeah, if you want to see more about how you can use it with a computer, he's got more examples of that. One of the best features in my mind is the customizable send and return blocks, which means you can send a signal out, route it to a bunch of different effects, and then send it back into the Matribox. And you can pick where in the virtual signal chain this send and receive happens. But I'll get on to more of that later in the video. So to get started, you've got two main views. The first one is Stomp mode, which is like your virtual pedal board. And the next mode is preset mode, where you can pick between a number of these virtual pedal boards, which are called presets. So each preset is a virtual pedal board and amp cab combination, should you want it on there. In Stomp mode, you can assign the foot switch to do few different things. You can set it to turn multiple effects on or off at once, and you can actually control what it does when you hold it down. So I've set up a Matribox preset with just an amp and a cab model. These are guitar specific models, but I like the way they sound. Okay, cool, but it's a guitar focused sound. Now there's EQs and things I could add if I wanted to, but actually what I'm going to use here is the send and return to create a clean blend effectively around this virtual pedal board. On the back of the pedal there's a send jack and a return jack, so I can send a signal out of the Matribox around to a whole bunch of other effects if I want, and then back in. Now, for the sake of this example, I'm going to use my Behringer octave divider. Let's just show you how that all works. So, at the start of my chain, I'm going to add a send. Now, it doesn't need to be at the start. I can put it wherever I want. I could have it after a compressor if I wanted, but just for the sake of things, I'm going to put it at the start. So that is sending my signal out. Now there's still signal coming through. So even though there's a send, my signal still passes through the chain. Now I can see their send level is 100%. Nothing else there? You got any more for me? Nope. Now let's add a return. There's nothing stopping me having the return before the cab simulation. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to put it at the end of the chain. Okay, return level. And there is a mix set to 50-50. So obviously that is the blend between the parallel signal via the send and receive and the signal within the Matribox. So now I have the octave divider blended in parallel. I'm playing around the 11th fret. And of course, with the octave divider off, it's a clean blend. So you can really hear what a big difference blending in some clean signal makes there. And effectively, I now have like a clean loop encompassing the board. I can put whatever models on the Matribox I want in between the send and return, and I've got the benefit of the clean blend. So in the Matribox, there are no base-specific fuzz models. But of course, now I've got the clean blend, that's not really so much for a problem. So what I've done is set up Stomp switch A with a fuzz and a noise gate. I'm enjoying the Matribox II PRO. As a bass player, however, I do have a few notes. Firstly, there are only two bass-specific drive/distortion sounds in the Matribox II PRO. And to be honest, they both sound kind of similar to each other, and I'm not sure how much of a fan of either I am. However, there is a tape saturation model elsewhere in the models. It's not in the drive section. But that tape saturation model is one of my favorites in the entire unit, hands down. Sounds really great. Reminds me a bit of the Jupiter Effects Jive. There is an envelope filter, but to be honest, I really struggled to get it to be all wet and juicy and funky. So that could be on me, but I spent quite a bit of time trying to get it sounding as I liked, and I just couldn't. Having said that, you've got a really cool bass wah. So actually wiring the bass with a expression pedal, absolutely built into the Matribox. If you're someone who likes to use a lot of octave effects, like polyphonic octave ups, like the Electro-Harmonix POG, or big fat monophonic octave downs, like the Boss OC2, well, you can keep using those pedals, because I didn't find much in the Matribox that I liked on this ground. There is no monophonic style analog octave down sound in the pedal at all that I could see. And you do have something that kind of approaches the sort of digital octave pitch shifting of the like POG and the whammy. But personally, when I tried these effects, I found they didn't track very well and didn't sound particularly in tune. The best result I could get out of them was the shimmer reverb, which reverb with an octave sound, and with the reverb, it sounded pretty good. Thankfully, of course, it's got the send and return, so I can still run things like my Mutron octave divider or the Behringer version, or a POG or Pitchfork or whatever I want. I've still got the option of sending signal out of the Matribox, looping it around my favorite pedals, and then sending it back in. Once I got my head around the Stomp and the preset mode, I actually found the Matribox really easy to use. Now, in terms of models, it's got a lot of models on there, but I wouldn't say anywhere near as much as something like the HX Stomp or the Helix native software that I've got on my computer, which in some cases I find beneficial. I mean, I don't want to spend days auditioning drive circuits. I don't need to do all that. It's got some nice delays. It's got some great modulations. It's got some cool reverb sounds as well. And it's got a few unexpected things like that tape saturation. So there's honestly a lot you can do with it. And of course, I love the fact that I can turn on and off multiple effects at once, like a drive and a noise gate. Turn them on at the same time, turn them off at the same time. That makes my life super easy. Or just go from a clean signal to something drenched in reverbs, delays, and modulations. Sure, not every bass player is gonna use that, but I do. Yeah, I just want to make clear, if it wasn't already clear, Sonic Cake sent me this pedal to do a video of. So the opinions are mine. They haven't paid me my time, but they did give me this pedal to do a video on. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think you'd get one? Let me know in the comments. Have a great week. Oh, before I forget, I've got 3 more videos coming out on the Matribox this week, but they're all going to be more around running through models, how it all works, less of an overview and more of a deep dive into certain functions on the pedal. So if you are interested in the Matribox, then they'll be out for every other day this week, I guess. If today's Tuesday, then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they'll be coming out. But if not, no worries. I'll probably have another video for you next week. Take care. Bye.